All right. Hello again, adventurers, and welcome to another exciting daily vlog. This is Daily Vlog 2025, number 84, and today, this is not a test. It is really, really happening. Everyone needs to freak out about this. Iron Mouse and Matthew Mercer are going to be playing something together. So, if you are unaware, there's a VTuber online called IRONMOUSE. If you're not familiar with the term, VTuber is someone, it stands for virtual YouTuber. And basically, there's someone that instead of being like me and showing my ugly face on Kiki camera, they have a digital version of themselves, and through the use of special software that will actually kind of map their expressions and match their speaking patterns, they can actually kind of animate a virtual version of themselves. It's a really cool thing. There's controversy about it always because people get upset when they can't like pick apart people physically, because that's the reason the internet exists. But again, from a disabled rights aspect, VTubing and stuff like that is actually really, really good for people that, for whatever reason, wouldn't be able to do the YouTube thing normally, whether it's an anxiety thing, whether it's a health thing, and that actually is part of why Iron Mouse does what she does. She does have quite a few different medical conditions that make it very, very difficult for her to do a lot of different things. And so that's what got her started. More recently, she has she for a brief moment she was actually the #1 subscribed channel on Twitch. She's done a lot of really, really good cool things. I'm a fan of her in general. I think she's a really cool person. And about a little over 2 hours ago, she announced that she is going to be playing I'll read the official announcement right here. We are going on another adventure just in time for Primary Immunodeficiency Awareness Month. Join me at CDogVA, at Matthew Mercer, and special mystery guests on April 2nd at 12 p.m. PST. So, April 2nd is next Wednesday. So that, not tomorrow, but the one after that. So this is really, really close. And yeah, CDogVA is someone that collaborates with Iron Mouse constantly. They are like super, super good friends. The primary immunodeficiency, the thing that's part of her medical conditions is she does have something involving an immunodeficiency. I'm not 100% up to date on her exact medical condition because it has lots of syllables and I have a hard enough time remembering my medical conditions. And then obviously Matt Mercer is Matt Mercer. So this in and of itself is really, really interesting. The actual image that they posted with it, this is just all the text on it. By the light of the Golden Bough, a TTRPG charity adventure supporting the Immune Deficiency Foundation, April 2nd, 12 p.m. Pacific time, twitch.tv/IronMouse. So, and then it shows Iron Mouse, CDogVA, Matthew Mercer, I love that the image that they used for Matthew Mercer is from, I think it was the second, it was the final Campaign 1 intro that they filmed, where he's in this huge setup and you watch as Laura Bailey at the end of the thing shoots an arrow and he goes whoosh, and there's the shield and the arrow's deflected and then he has this mask on and he pulls it off, and that's Matthew Mercer. So I love that image. And then there's another one, Tormented by Gnomes. Tormented by Gnomes. Tormented by Gnomes is another person. Then they have mystery guests. So there's a lot to break down about this. First things first, it specifically says a TTRPG charity adventure, not a D&D adventure. So it's theoretically possible that Ironmouse might be playing D&D. They might be doing anything else. They might be doing Pathfinder. Maybe they'll do Essence 20. That would be super cool, right? Wouldn't you love to see Ironmouse as a Power Ranger? I think that'd be super cool. Ironmouse or anyone from V Shoujo, if you guys want to become Power Rangers, let me know. I have run a Power Rangers campaign. All my players loved it, including the guy that complained that his creature was a badger. But I have no idea what TTRPG they're going to be using. Obviously, the mystery guests could be anyone, could be more Critical Role people, could be people from Dimension to 20, could be Mark Holmes. It could be a billion different things. Could be someone completely unrelated to the TTRPG world. Also, it specifically says we're going on another adventure. So I'm assuming that means Ironmouse has played some version of a TTRPG live before. I didn't get a chance to do a ton of research to figure out what she's played before. If anyone is more familiar with Ironmouse than I am, and can specifically say, oh yeah, she played D&D this time, or she played Pathfinder, or whatever it was, my guess, if it's not D&D, it'll probably be Pathfinder. Like, those are the two big ones. Though I would get a kick watching Mercer play one of the World of Darkness games. Like, I'd love to watch Mercer play Vampire the Masquerade. I think that would be very, very entertaining. So yeah, my prediction, normally if it was going to be D&D, I think they would say D&D, because again, the even in the comments on the Twitter post, the third comment down is, so is this about D&D? So it's, I would assume if it was going to be Dungeons and Dragons, they would specifically say D&D on there, because the product recognition will just work. The fact they're using TTRPG either means, in my personal opinion, either means A, they're not playing D&D, or B, they're not playing one game. Because if it's going to be multiple games or multiple systems or something like that, they wouldn't want to say D&D and then not play D&D for the entire time. So that's my prediction. As far as what system they will actually be playing, maybe because it's April and Daggerheart comes out in May, maybe this will be a Daggerheart game. I mean, they're bringing in Matt Mercer. Maybe one of the mystery guests will be Ivan Van Norman, who runs Darrington Press, I believe. I know he worked at it for a while. I'm actually not sure if that's what he still does, but maybe that's where to be coming from. Like, that I think would be really interesting, and it would be a big deal. However, again, this is where I get like my marketing head and my marketing cap on. So, Ironmouse, again, massive name. She doesn't really need to do a ton of advertising, because simply, as I've mentioned this before, in marketing, 90% in general, 90% of your marketing budget goes towards what's called product recognition, which is basically just convincing people that you exist. It is such a massive part of marketing in general that so many different techniques that are used, they're all about getting people to know. Ironmouse already has such massive product recognition that she doesn't really have to focus on that much. Now, is she really big in the TTRPG community? I don't think so. However, she's so big everywhere else. Like, I've had conversations with my players about Ironmouse, because she'd mentioned like a few weeks ago, she's like, yeah, I talked to Matt Mercer and we're coming up with something cool. And so he goes, oh, that would be super cool if Iron Mouse and Matt Mercer play. So I think, again, she's popular enough that product recognition is not something that she really needs. However, for events like this, dropping the official announcement for it slightly over a week before the event goes live, to me is a really, really strange choice for marketing. Good example. For the first campaign that I ran for Zelda Universe, it was called Realms of the Wild. It used the Open Legends system, and I was basically given free reign over how we were going to effectively market it to get people to watch. And so I came up with this idea. It's like, well, I'd like to have a month-long marketing push for this. What I'd like to do is once a week, we're going to release a bunch of trailers. We're going to have an overall trailer for the game itself. And then because we had 4 players at that point, we would have one character trailer drop per week. And it was unbelievably successful. Combined with the fact that the week that we decided to drop the campaign trailer, they were actually at, I want to say it was PAX. I think they were at PAX Prime. And they were able to announce it. They had a panel. Zelda Universe had a panel there. And they were actually able to announce the game at the PAX panel and play the trailer right there. So we had a ton of hype going up to it. We were kind of decent friends with Hyper RPG at the time, and so for our first episode, Hyper RPG actually hosted the channel. That was back when hosting was a thing on YouTube. And we had massive net of numbers. For Zelda Universe, I believe it was one of the highest broadcasts the Twitch channel had outside of things like their charity events and stuff like that. It was a really, really effective marketing campaign. When we were going into our second campaign, Tears of the Realms, instead of just allowing me kind of free reign over the marketing, Zelda Universe actually has someone that not only does marketing for them, but actually does it professionally compared to me, who's never been paid to market a damn thing. And so talking with their marketing head, we made the decision to, instead of doing an entire month effectively, I wanted to do the same thing we did before. Channel trailer and then one character trailer a week. And after some conversations, like, no, let's just do it in 2 weeks. And so that's what we did, and it was nowhere near as effective. And part of that, in my personal opinion, was we spaced things too close together. By giving people time to create anticipation and stuff about it, it got people more excited. And it's a really common thing that I've seen with a lot of other companies that are announcing things, is you announce a few months in advance, and then you keep, at least once a week, you keep reminding people, by the way, remember we announced this thing, get excited for it. And so going back to this, by the way, the reason that Tears of the Realms wasn't as big a launch was not entirely based on just that we shortened the marketing time. Like, there were a lot of other things. Hosting was no longer a thing by that point. We had some other stuff happening behind the scenes that was making things a little bit more difficult with getting the artwork done on time and stuff like that, just because everyone was super busy. So I'm not wholly blaming our lower audience on a shortening the marketing campaign, but I will say I'm pretty certain that it had an effect. Wasn't the exclusive effect, but did have an effect. So going back to here, making this big announcement, which looks great. Like they made this really great image that's got everybody there, and it looks really, really cool. But launching it so soon before it goes live, to me, feels like something happened that didn't allow them to announce sooner. Now, again, does this mean this is going to be an abject failure? No, it's IRONMOUSE. Like, it's going to be huge. And it's IRONMOUSE and Matt Mercer. And so, again, Critical Role was the #1 earning Twitch channel for a few years. They're a massive, massive thing. And as far as the tabletop RPG community in general, you would be hard-pressed to find someone in the online tabletop RPG community, not just people that play TTRPGs in their friendly local game store, but if you are online and you interact with the tabletop RPG community, you really have to know Matt Mercer. You may like him, you may hate him, you may be something in between. Mercer! You know who Matt Mercer is. He's too big a name to not know him. So you have one of the biggest names on Twitch, the biggest name in tabletop RPGs outside of like Wizards of the Coast. This is going to go really well, but it feels weird that they're announcing it so late. And I wonder if the reason they have mystery guests is that they're still trying to get people to confirm. Because here's another really fun thing about doing even just charity events and things like that. Getting people to agree to do that stuff is a pain in the ass. Years and years and years ago, I actually organized, 2 years in a row, I organized a Critters and Team Human 48-hour D&D charity live stream. We played Dungeons and Dragons for 2 days. And it was massively fun. But getting everyone organized and making sure that everything was working correctly was a pain in the ass. There's a good reason why I don't do it anymore. I physically just can't. It's so much work and it's so intense. The second year that we did it, I actually had one of the DMs no-show for their slot. The way that it worked is I separated the 48 hours into 4-hour time slots. And then all the people that wanted to run games would just pick which time slots they wanted. And I always ran at least, I think I ran 2 sessions for each of them. I ran an 8-hour session and I ran a 4-hour session for each one of them. So I took up about 12 of the hours. And then everyone else would pick either a 4 or an 8 hour session. And it was really, really great. We had something like 13 time zones that were represented in there, and something like 7 or 8 different countries of people playing. Like, it was super, super cool. But yeah, like 15 minutes before the next group was supposed to go live, I get a message from one of the players, and they go, "Hey, our DM's not here." And I go, "What?" It's like, "Yeah, our DM hasn't shown up. They haven't logged into the game or anything like that. What are we supposed to do?" I go, "That's a fantastic question. Let me go find out for you." I figured maybe, they got the time zones wrong or something like that. So I go to message them, nothing. I do every way to contact them I can. I can't. So 5 minutes before they're supposed to go live, I jump in and go, "Hey guys, I'm going to run the game today." And they're like, "Oh, cool. How are you going to do that?" I go, "I don't know, but I'm going to do it." And what was supposed to happen during that 4 hours is I had just finished doing, I think, an 8-hour stream. And so I was supposed to get some sleep because I was playing in a game right after this one. That didn't happen. And I literally pulled a 4-hour adventure out of my ass that was actually based on the description, because in order to get people to play, each one of the DMs was required to write me basically a paragraph pitch of what they wanted or what their adventure is going to be about. So I took that paragraph and I just made up an adventure that kind of fit with that paragraph. And yeah, I completely improvised everything. I just made all of it up. And it went really, really well. I think a lot of people were not aware that I wasn't supposed to do that. So anyway, doing stuff like this is unbelievably complex, especially if you're dealing with, to be blunt, streamers and YouTubers, because their schedules are so fucked up. Mostly because, and I think a lot of people don't realize this, one of the reasons why it's so hard, especially to get streamers to do things together, is because any time you are not streaming, you are losing money. And because of just how Twitch works in general, if you skip a stream night, like just one stream night, it can cost you thousands of dollars, depending on how much money you make per stream. Not just because you're not actively making income because you're not streaming, but also because you become less discoverable, and it hurts aspects of your the back end of your channel if you skip streams and stuff like that. So getting streamers to work together is such a difficult thing, because they basically have this additional opportunity cost that they have to go, okay, well, if I'm doing this thing, that means either I'm not live on my channel, or something that became really, really popular for a little while with smaller streamers is like you would watch, like everyone would be streaming on their own channel, and then they'd use a third-party website to kind of bring all of the streams together so you could kind of watch them simultaneously, but it never really worked that way. The reason that they did that was they would just lose shit tons of money if they didn't. Now with the kind of featured program that's on Twitch, where you can, when you're streaming, if you're co-streaming with someone else, you can go, oh yeah, if you have a guest on, you can go, oh, this person is there, and it actually helps with back end stuff, and it helps with like splitting revenue and stuff like that. Like, it's a really big deal. It also merges your chats, so that anyone that is watching on any one channel, if they put the chat in, it goes to everybody's channel so that they can all see it, which is really, really, really useful. That was one of the worst parts about the multi-Twitch stuff, was that you would have like 3 or 4 different Twitch chats that you had to try and keep track of, and it never really worked. So yeah, I could totally understand that this is coming together kind of so last minute, simply because, and this is my theory, I'm not saying that this is actually what's happening, this is just my theory. I kind of think that they've been wanting to do this for a while, but actually getting people to commit to it was very, very difficult, because again, that's how it works. Yeah. I am massively excited about this. I will be watching when it happens, because this is a really big deal, and I'm interested to see what they play. Like I said before, obviously, because she used the words again, I'm assuming this is not the first time. Or another adventure. I'm assuming this is not the first time that IRONMOUSE have played some sort of TTRPG online. But if anybody knows better than I do, let me know in the comments down below, what RPGs has she played before online. Second of all, which RPG do you guys think that they're going to be playing for this one? Like I said, my money right now, I think it'd be cool if they played Daggerheart. I'm not sure that's going to be a thing, but the kind of aesthetic and everything for Daggerheart, I think fits IRONMOUSE's kind of personality really, really well, and her kind of theme. I think she could do really well with Daggerheart. So I'd love to see this be Daggerheart. At the same time, I think if it's not D&D, I think there's a better chance of it being Pathfinder, just because that's the other like really, really big name, and Mercer knows Pathfinder really, really well. We also don't know who the DM is going to be. They haven't specifically said. They just listed the people that are going to be involved. So if Mercer is DMing, that's one thing. However, Mercer could be a player, and like IRONMOUSE could be DM, or Connor, Sea Dog VA, could be DM. Or this Tormented by Gnomes person that I'm not familiar with and didn't get tagged in the tweet could be DM. I have no idea. But yeah, I'm fascinated. I'm excited about it. Hope you guys are too. Anyway, that's gonna be all for me today. I will see you guys next time. All right, bye bye.